Yo, 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 what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, the franchise player, Double B Bad Blood, joining you once again for another exciting installment of the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. Special interview on BiasSlam.net with this dude right here. This dude right here, man, fresh off Final Battle, Ring of Honor's last show, 2021, LSG. Brother, welcome to the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. This is the first actually interview since Final Battle. So it'll be good to chat a little bit and kind of share my thoughts on everything because it's been a difficult couple of days. It's hard to put all the words into a caption on Instagram or Twitter. So
I talked to Silas Young right when everyone got let go, and then I talked to Brian Malonis, and everyone was taken aback, like, whoa, like we don't know what's going on. I guess you guys had what he called the town hall meeting, and everyone found out right then and there about the contract gimmick, and everything was over. I mean, you've been a part of Ring of Honor for a long time. I mean, I know you guys were part of the Coast to Coast tag team for a while, and you did a lot, man. Tell us, like, what were your thoughts when you found out that Ring of Honor was going to be no more?
It caught me off guard because we didn't have any dates scheduled for next year yet, and I just assumed that's what we would talk about on the call. And they dropped that bombshell. It kind of just it stunned me a little bit because Ring of Honor has always been, that constant in my life since I was 15 years old, before I even started wrestling, years before I started wrestling. I always felt like that was my home. It was the place I would go to watch wrestling that I loved. And now competing as a pro wrestler, that was my place. That was, that was the most important event I had on the calendar every month. So for me, it was rough. It was really rough, and I took it really hard because I actually missed the last TV taping because I was out from an injury. I wasn't ready to come back yet. So that killed me, being home, knowing that this could potentially be the last set of TV tapings, and I'm sitting here laid up. It was rough. It was really rough. So I'm fortunate that I got to compete at Final Battle.
I was gonna say, man, you showed out, man. I ain't gonna lie, that there was a lot of moving parts in that match. I mean, the first hour, crazy. I mean, 10-man tag team match.
Yeah,
like I've been in regular tag team matches where shit went off the rails. I've been in 6-man tag team matches where shit was really off the rails. But a 10-man tag team match, so many moving parts. How did you guys keep it all together?
10 men, it's nuts. First of all, it's 10 guys. Second, it's wild card. So it's not even people that you ever work with. Like the guys on my team, I've never teamed with them before. Yeah. And then you got to look at the people that are in that match. You had some of the biggest people in the entire company. You had the Bouncers, 2 huge individuals. You had Sledge and Max the Impaler. So a lot of just, it's just awesome though, because, if this was the last event for a long time, it was cool to mix it up with people I had never been in the ring with. Obviously, I've been in the ring many times with Cheeseburger, Will Ferrara, and the Bouncers, but the other guys, Flip maybe a couple times, PJ maybe once or twice, but just to have that collection of people, and we're all trying, 10 people all trying to show out at the same time on the biggest stage of them all, the last hurrah. It's pretty wild, and I think we put on an awesome show, especially to kick it off right before the pay-per-view started. Everyone got to do their thing. Everyone got to show out, and I think we made the fans happy and kind of give them a nice little treat before the main card started.
In my opinion, that match started the main card.
Hell yeah!
What fans don't understand about this industry, there are 3 matches on the show that light the crowd up. The very first match, the match before intermission, and the main event. In my opinion, those are the 3 hottest matches because the first match sets the tone for the night. The intermission match mellows them out and gets them hyped up for right when the main event's going to go. And then that main event match sends everybody home happy. You guys did some crazy stuff. I mean, that springboard form you got, pretty sick, my man. I've watched you do a lot of crazy stuff.
I didn't do as much crazy stuff. There were some other people doing other crazy things. I'll let them do it this time.
Yeah, that finisher was crazy.
Yeah, wild. It was a good time though. Really
Yeah,
good.
you've been in the ring with a lot of talented guys. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember the very first time I actually like saw one of your matches in Ring of Honor. I mean, I've seen you on indie stuff, but it was you and it was the Coast to Coast tag team against the Briscoes.
Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah,
So that
so
was
I mean,
probably that was in Las Vegas,
yep,
2018. That
yep,
was our,
it
our
was
first shot at the tag titles.
pretty interesting. And the storyline between you guys, you guys are broken up, you guys got back together, you guys are broken up, you guys have got back together. I mean, I mean, isn't your former partner like a Major League Baseball player now or something like that?
No, no, no. I don't know who that is, but no, my old partner Shaheem Ali. He relocated down to Georgia. He's training at the Nightmare Factory. So, we went our separate ways, but he's still my brother till the end, and I wish him the best, and I hope to see him, pop up somewhere soon. I'll never say never to coast reunion because we had some good times. We split amicably. It wasn't there was no like dissension there.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, he's doing his own thing. I'm doing my own thing. But we create some great memories as coast to coast.
Yeah, you guys did a lot of good stuff, man. Um, as of now, as of like today, like we're talking like 12, 13, 2021. It
Yeah.
is literally 2 weeks before the end of the year. What are your goals for 2022?
Oh, I have a lot. I have a lot. I'm definitely a goal oriented person. A few right off the top of my head. I want to wrestle on the West Coast. I've had a couple opportunities with Ring of Honor, but I would love to debut at some West Coast promotions in Cali. Never wrestled in California before, so that's definitely on the list.
Well, I know a guy
You
that
know,
knows a guy
yeah, he
that knows
knows.
a guy in Oregon, that knows a guy in
Oh
Washington, and then knows a guy in California. So
yeah.
yeah.
Very, yeah, that's definitely on the list. I would love to go back to Germany because I spent 2 months there back in 2018. It was probably the time of my life, my favorite time of my career. So I'd love to go back and wrestle for WXW in Germany and hopefully tour the UK. And I mean, I've got so much TV experience. I feel like I'm an asset to any company, whether in a tag team or singles, heel or babyface. I want to wrestle on TV. I know what I'm doing out there. I know how to work the camera. I know how to connect with the crowd. I would love to just continue this progress and keep moving forward and take what I did at Ring of Honor and what I've learned at Ring of Honor and bring it somewhere else, bring it to another promotion on TV.
You wrestled on AEW recently, didn't you?
I did. I did a couple matches for AEW. The last one I did was down in Philadelphia for Dark Elevation.
Mm-hmm.
I teamed with the recently signed Lee Moriarty, who was an
That's
awesome
right.
talent, and we tagged against FTR and had a banger of a match, which was crazy because I had just teamed with Lee like 2 weeks prior at Glory by Honor and Ring of Honor. So it was
Mm-hmm.
kind of funny. I was like, I told him in the ring, I was like, "Hey, I'll see you soon," and
Sure
Lo
enough.
2 weeks later, sure enough, we were teaming against FTR and a sold out arena.
And you can't have a better match against anyone like FDR, man. Those guys are just old school throwback.
Oh, yeah, love it. Love
Yeah.
it.
So, I mean, you see, you mentioned the West Coast. You want to come out
Yeah.
here. You want to do. I'm in the West Coast, so you want to come out here. You want to do things on the West Coast. West Coast has a lot of great wrestling promotions. BCW Worldwide in Portland's a really good one. And there are some Northern California ones, a couple of SoCal ones. Um, but Monster Factory Pro Wrestling, like
Hell
Danny
yeah.
Cage's gimmick over there.
Yeah, man. Monster Factory made.
Oh man, that's impressive. That is impressive. I'll tell you, Danny Cage is the king of all kings when it comes to training people.
Yeah.
Um, what would you consider like your biggest achievement so far in this industry? I mean, you've been around a long time, so I mean, what's something that you revel in knowing that you did?
Well, I have a couple. The obvious one is definitely, wrestling at the G1 Supercard at Madison Square Garden, which is just insane. MSG's a short train ride away from my house. I've been there several times watching Knicks, go to concerts and all that. So to be at the world's most famous arena performing and having that moment in the big honor rumble, mixing it up with the ROH guys and some of the New Japan legends like Suzuki, is just unreal. No one can ever take that away from me. There's this really small list of people who have been able to wrestle in MSG, and I'm on that list. So definitely that. And then a recent one that I'm so proud of is going the distance time limit with Jay Lethal and Pure Rules, which was just childhood dream. I've been watching Jay since I was 14, 15 years old, from his days at Ring of Honor to Impact,
Man.
and now with the Pure Division, really, bringing back the foundation of what Ring of Honor was, getting to be a part of that and mixing it up with him. He's a legend. That was just probably one of the coolest things I will ever do in my life, and no one can ever take that away from me.
That's some good stuff, man. That is some really good stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, I know the Ring of Honor thing in Madison Square Garden was like the end all be all. Like, I mean, you've done a lot of things like CZW. Tell me about CZW. I'm friends with Black G's, so he's my tag team partner when he was
yeah,
CZW World Champion. I was like, man, that's craziness over there.
yeah. CCW's been around for such a long time. I've been on like the cusp of it. I only got to do one match there, but I've always been around those guys. I've done a couple like Dojo Wars things back in the day. Um, But a lot of those guys there at CZW who walked through those, the doors at CZW, they're good friends of mine. I love seeing their progress. I love seeing what they're doing, especially with this little reboot now, kind of a rebranding and
Yeah,
restart the company. It's very exciting. I would, maybe like to wrestle there soon. We'll see. Yeah, that was always a goal of mine to wrestle at CZW, but I guess with the schedule, it was like doing a lot of Monster Factory stuff, Ring of Honor stuff. It just didn't work out scheduling wise. But with things opening up, who knows?
yeah, the world's opening up. So I distinctively remember it was really like I was racking my brain. You have wrestled on the West Coast,
I have.
Tijuana, Mexico, the
Yeah,
auditorium. I was actually on that show for the crash.
yeah, fun, fun, fun show. Super
Yeah,
fun show.
TJ Mexico is a crazy place to be.
That was crazy. Just the whole thing, just getting there and wrestling, getting some authentic food down the street, and then heading out. Like I was in and out within 24 hours. It
Oh,
was like one of the quickest trips.
you totally missed the whole Mexico experience.
So yeah, it was like the biggest tease ever. But
TJ is a place.
getting the rest of it, it's a fantastic time. I would love to go back. And I think that night Rey Mysterio was there, so
Hmm.
it was a sold out crowd. It was like 4,000 plus people, and I'm on the banner outside of the auditorium, and I'm just like, this is unreal. We pull up, and me and Shaheem, our faces right on the banner. And I'm like, this is nuts.
You're like, this is
They treated
crazy.
us, yeah, they treated us really, really well. I had a fantastic time. So I would love to go back. I would really, really love to go back.
TJ is a great place to wrestle. I spent the majority of my first 5 or 6 years in the industry
Yeah.
wrestling in the auditorium at TJ.
Awesome.
So I know that's crazy. Um, so I mean, you've done, like I said, you've done a lot, and you've met a lot of interesting people. You've been around a lot of great guys, a lot of great minds for the business. We recently lost a really, really good dude, really great mind for the business. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So Jimmy Rave has passed, and he's been going through so many terrible things lately, and I felt so horrible for him, especially getting to know him recently in the last couple years, which I never thought I would really come across him or get to learn from him or wrestle him, but I was very fortunate. I was able to wrestle him a couple times, and for me personally, it was a big deal because the people who know me, the first ever indie show I ever went to, first time I ever saw wrestling live, not on TV, was at Final Battle 2005 in my hometown of Edison, New Jersey. The first thing I saw, I walked into the building, the first match I saw, Milano Collection AT versus Jimmy Rave with
Oh
Prince
my
Nana.
god!
And this guy was getting
Oh, you brought it back.
the most heat I had ever seen in my life.
Toilet paper
Getting
streamers, man.
covered in toilet paper on this huge show, Final Battle 2005. And I was like, my mind was blown. I had never heard of him before, but I was like, this guy is amazing. He's fantastic. He's a great entertainer, amazing heel. And from then on, I was a fan.
Like, ladies and gentlemen, you don't understand.
It's unreal.
In
I'm
Ring
not
of
a,
Honor, there's a tradition that when the fans love the faces, the good guys, so to speak, they throw streamers into the ring as a celebration. Jimmy Rave was so hated that fans threw toilet paper, rolls and rolls of toilet paper. I remember the first time I saw that. I wrestled Jimmy Rave twice, in Georgia for the NWA Junior Heavyweight, the World Junior Heavyweight title. And both those times, people threw toilet paper in the ring, and I'm like, "What the hell is this all about?" And then he told me the story, and I was like, "Wow, you got so much heat."
It was amazing. I remember walking into the building and seeing people carrying like um, bundles of toilet paper. I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
Right? Like,
I didn't know any
literally
better.
from the bathroom.
I had never been to Ring of Honor before. I actually didn't even know what Ring of Honor was until that night, until I
Oh
walked into the
man,
building. Yeah.
what a big surprise for
So
you, right?
it was crazy. You fast forward, it was like, I think 2018 is when I first wrestled him, or 2019. And getting to learn from him, and, me and my girlfriend became close with him and his girlfriend. So it really does suck to lose him. People that know him, people that have been fortunate to work with him, know how much he loved giving back to the business, how much he loved
Yeah,
training guys. He was a huge part of breaking in a lot of these guys at CCW the last few years. Since he was living up here in the Northeast, and I can't imagine what it feels like for them, because he was really good to me, but I'm sure he was super, super close with a lot of those students at CCW. So, my heart breaks for them. And I just want to say that I just want to give a shout out to Gabby Gilbert. She's a warrior for, sticking by him and helping him through the last, year or so. Like, he's been going through so much hell with his health and stuff. And just, I couldn't imagine what it's like. Just we just want you to know that everybody in the wrestling community, we're thinking of you, and we appreciate you. And Jimmy, we love you and we thank you for everything you gave to this business.
right before we came on, I was talking to Sal Ronaldo, and yeah, he's taking it pretty hard too. I told him, I said, if you need a vent, you can call me, no matter what time it is, and we're in totally different time zones, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. We're all a community, we're all brotherhood, we're all brothers in this industry, and when you lose one, it sucks, especially when you lose one that was so cool with a lot of people. I
Yeah.
mean, Jimmy used to always tell me, "Man, as soon as you do this, this, and this, I'll approve you." I was like, "Oh, so I gotta do this to be Jimmy Rave approved?" You know. And we did a benefit for him on the show here. We raised some money to help pay for some of the medical bills. And he sends me this text message in the middle of the night. He says, #approved. And I just die laughing. I'm like, that was so funny. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, which means it's probably like 6 o'clock where he is. So he's
Yeah.
up all night thinking of a clever way to rib me one last time. And that was 2 weeks ago. And now look. So I can't rib him back. Um, but what I can do is I can help celebrate his life on the show, which is what we're going to do on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast Monday Night Raw review. Right after this interview, we're going to do that. So I will send you a link if you want to chime in the chats or whatever, whatnot. Yeah, so it's been one of those things. Tell me a funny story about you guys. Give me something positive to go out on this.
Well, I don't know if it was a funny story, but it was definitely like nerve wracking, because for me, it's funny. I was already wrestling for like 8 or 9 years at this point when I first wrestled him, and I remember he was double shotting from another show. I think he was at H2O, and I'm already nervous because I'm about to wrestle one of my like heroes in wrestling, and I'm like, oh my god, like we're cutting it close here. We're one of the bigger marquee matches of the show, and I'm like, I'm nervous as hell at this point, and that, and at this point, like I said, I've been wrestling a long time, and it takes a lot to get me really nervous like that. And knowing I was going to wrestle him for the first time, I never met him before, and I knew that when he got in the building, I was going to meet a hero of mine, and then two, have to call a match really, really quickly, like in 10 minutes, and go out there, and they're expecting us to put out a banger of a match. So, not so much funny, but I mean, looking back on it, it's funny because it went well. It was great. I love the match, and I think putting that trust in me, he put the trust in me to take care of him in that match. Especially he just had another match, an hour before. That created a bond between us, and he always treated me great after that, and that's something I'll never forget. Um, and I always looked to him for advice whenever he was at a show watching. So
Yeah, he was that guy
yeah,
that you can ask for advice
you
at
know,
all times.
sometimes they say don't meet your heroes, but like, you know, this is an example of the opposite. This guy was awesome to me. He treated me great.
That's good. That is good. I like hearing positive things like that before we go out. It's like there's so much negativity in the world,
Yeah,
so much negativity on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, whatnot. In the wrestling community, sometimes it's so negative. You hear so many bad things, but in the midst of hearing a bad situation happening today, it's always good to have some good news. You know what I mean? And that was something good. If you can tell Jimmy right now, like today, right this minute, what he meant to you, what would you say?
I would just reiterate what I was saying about meeting heroes. He's the guy that drew me into Ring of Honor. I saw him for the first time. He was the first thing I saw when I walked into the building. Um, and I would say thank you, because if it wasn't for him and seeing the reaction he got, I don't know if I would be where I am right now, because he was an integral part of what made me fall in love with Ring of Honor and the company, and wanted me to pursue wrestling for them one day. Because who knows? What if the first thing I saw was a stinker of a match and I didn't enjoy it at all? And
True.
like, it could have steered me on a whole different course. Like, what if I was just like, I don't really like wrestling. I'm never going to go back again. That was the first thing I saw, and it's I think, um, I think it's what put me on this trajectory that I'm on now, and it's the reason I'm here at Final Battle.
Shoot, man, that's high praise, man. That is high praise.
It's crazy how life
Um,
works, but yeah, I think if it wasn't for that moment, that match I saw, who knows where I would be.
true, true statement. So, speaking of Final Battle, what were your thoughts like after watching Jonathan Gresham become the world champion? After watching the Briscoes battle it out with FTR, um, just like all the craziness that happened, Titan showing up, or Braun Strowman showing up at Ring of Honor. What were your thoughts?
Well, because we just did like a year's worth of bubble tapings and with no fans, that excitement, that electricity that's like unmatched with any other form of entertainment was just insane. So just being in the building and seeing all that, and of course seeing Gresham win the title right up front on ringside, was like, it was crazy. Of course, I've been ringside for matches, but this was unlike anything I'd ever seen. I love the chemistry between Lethal and Gresham, and seeing them go at it. That last stretch in that match was just sick, absolutely sick. And I knew Gresham, he deserved it. That guy has been, carrying us the last year, carrying the torch, carrying the foundation, and bringing pure wrestling back. I loved watching every second of it. So just being a small part of it, I was a small part of that whole event, but just being there and just experiencing that firsthand, just like everybody else in the crowd, that's something I'll never forget.
Made you a fan all over again,
I,
huh?
I forgot I was a wrestler for a second. I'm out banging on the mat, just like totally invested. It's
Dude, when
amazing.
you watch a match like that and you totally get so engrossed in it, your whole world just shifts. You're like, oh shit, like I'm that 12-year-old kid watching WrestleMania again for the
Yeah,
first time. Like,
yeah,
oh my god, like that's how I feel whenever I watch a match that's so engrossing.
right.
Like I remember I watched Mr. Perfect versus Bret the Hitman Hart for the Intercontinental Championship, and I was so engrossed in that match because at that time in my life of loving wrestling and wanting to become a wrestler, those were two of the most technically sound men I've ever seen.
Yeah,
And just watching them, I was like, I want to do that one day. I
yeah.
want to do that one day.
My buddy Tim Hughes, tough Tim Hughes.
I love Tim Hughes.
Yeah, yeah. He always puts it this way. I want to make people feel the way I felt when I was watching wrestling. So I think about that. Whether it's a heel reaction or a babyface reaction, you want to make people feel something. And I'll never forget how I felt watching Ring of Honor when I was 15 years old, 16 years old, And I knew, and so did he, that one day we wanted to make people feel that same way. So that's always the goal for me.
Him and Brutal Bob Evans,
I
two
love him.
amazing dude. They
Yeah,
gave us because him and Bob come to BCW Worldwide a lot.
yeah.
You should get with them about coming to BCW, man. I
I
tell you,
should.
I,
I
I
should.
love Uncle
I love
Bob,
them.
bro. Bob and
Bob,
Tim gave me and my partner one of the best matches we've ever
yeah.
had in our entire career.
Uncle Bob,
Um,
I love him. And Tim, I went to high school with him. I've known him.
oh wow!
We went to high school together. We were the same baseball program together. We did backyard wrestling together. I've known him since I was a kid.
The
So
next time you see Tim, you tell him, "Hey, remember that time you went to Portland and the promote and BJ said don't get the cheap flight?
okay,
Remember how you stayed in Seattle for 2 days? Just remind him of that."
okay, I
I
will.
told him, I said, "Dude, don't get that flight.
Yeah,
You're gonna get stuck." He's like, "I ain't gonna get stuck." The week before, I was wrestling for him and Bob in Rhode Island, and I was flying home, and I got stuck for 2.5 hours in Seattle on the same flight that they did. Fortunately for me, I just called one of my buddies and was like, "Dude, drive me home."
yeah, right.
That was it. It was crazy. But yeah, man. So before we go, I want to play this game with you.
Yep.
This game is real simple. The fans love it. Everyone loves it that comes on the show. The game is real simple and real cool. It's called Teamwood, Feud with, or Fire. Basically, it's the concept. You can team with anyone in the industry, alive or dead, no matter who it is. Any promotion. AEW, WWE, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, New Japan, All Japan, CMLL, AAA, whatever. You can also feud with anybody, any era. And you can fire any motherfucker you want. No questions asked, unless you want to tell me why. So, team with, feud with, fire.
All right, team with. I think this would be kind of cool. He's no longer with us. He's a legend, though. He's one of my favorites to watch. The Dynamite Kid with the Human Rocket LSG. That's explosive right there.
It's too much flying around, man. Too much
Yeah,
flying around.
I love it. Especially just yeah, totally. That thing, Dynamite Kid and the Human Rocket match made in heaven. That'd be awesome. Feud with. Got to go with the Briscoes. Obviously, I've wrestled them a couple times. Never had a feud with them. Those guys make every match feel like a war. From everything, their intensity, the promos, the presence in the ring, the way the matches go, it's like a war, and you're fully invested. Even with this recent stuff with FTR, like I was buzzing about it. I rewatched the clip of FTR coming out in the brawl like 10 times that night. I just love everything about them. I would love to feud with them one day.
Did you guys know that FTR was showing up?
I let them in. I made a deal with them. I saw him. I saw him on Wednesday at Dynamite in Long Island. I was like,
"You're like, hey, bro,
hey,
I got you.
I'll open the door. I'll let you in.
Come get these fools." All right, who would you fire?
Who would I fire? Oh man. I got a funny one. I'll fire the Blue Meanie.
Everyone wants to fire the Meanie.
Because when I first started at the Monster Factory, I did a loser leaves town match, and he was the referee, and he did a fast count to get rid of me, and he carried me out of the building and threw me out of the building.
So the Blue Meanie screwed you. Is that what you're saying?
The Blue Meanie screwed me.
Wow, this isn't like Brett screwed Brett. This is
it was a chicken.
What city was it in?
This is in Paulsboro, New Jersey, at the world famous
Paulsboro screw job, huh?
Paulsboro
punk out. I get it.
I need my revenge. I would fire. I love him. I love Meanie.
Yeah, I love Mama Meanie. Yeah, man. So what you got going on? What you got coming up? That's the big thing.
Yeah. All right. December 18th, I'll be in Apple Valley, Minnesota with Ironheart Pro Wrestling. I am putting my Ironheart Heavyweight Championship on the line. My first defense against Xander Killen. Intense, badass dude. But he tried to interfere with, try to hurt my girl. So that's a problem. He tried to put his hands on her and try to get my attention, and he has my attention now.
Oh shit!
So I will be settling that with him in Minnesota this Saturday. Ironheart Pro Wrestling, check that out. And then New Year's Day, I will be at Excite Wrestling in Johnson City, New York, upstate Binghamton area. That's one of my homes away from home. I love Excite Wrestling. Check that out. They have Twitch. They will be live streaming that event. That's going to be an awesome one. Dalton Castle will be on that event. And then next year, I don't have much booked yet, but absolutely stoked to go back to Alaska for the 7th time.
At WrestlePro.
Who the hell goes to Alaska 7 times?
Okay, so I've been to Alaska twice.
This guy right here. This guy right here. So I just got back from Alaska last week. Going back, WrestlePro Alaska, we have our 3rd anniversary show. Should be amazing at the Egan Center in Anchorage, April 9th, I believe. Should be an awesome event. Killer Cross, Scarlet Bordeaux already announced. I think Dirty Dango, Heath is going to be there.
Oh, wow.
Tommy Dreamer, all the WrestlePro Alaska regulars, the students from the 907 Wrestling Academy. Should be amazing. Tune in. We put those shows out for free. So no excuse not to watch them. YouTube, Facebook, check us out.
Send me the link in my DM, man.
Absolutely. I got you.
Love it. I've been trying to get – someone told me I should get up to Alaska for WrestlePro, and I'm like, before I hang the boots up, maybe I'll hit them up. But it's too cold in Alaska.
Good time. Yeah, it was 0 degrees last week.
I didn't realize how close I was to Russia. We drove 75 miles to the Russian border. And I was like, why are we doing this in the middle of the night, which is crazy, drunk wrestler things. Anyway, thank you very much, man, for joining us here on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast on BiasM.net. I want to ask you before I let you go, give me your Mount Rushmore of Ring of Honor.
Oof. Can I count the Briscoes as one person?
Sure.
All right, I gotta go Briscoes. Lethal. Danielson.
Oh, okay. Old school.
Samoa Joe.
All right. Everyone says Danielson, Samoa Joe. Some say CM Punk. I'm surprised you didn't say that. All right.
Yeah, well, man, I say that because I didn't get to experience Punk at Ring of Honor. I just missed him.
Okay. Yeah, you came in after he went to WWE.
Yeah, but I saw plenty of Joe. I saw Danielson and Morishima. I saw amazing stuff from all those guys.
Some of the greatest times of my life have been down in UPW Pro Wrestling in California. I got to be, I guess it's like we were on a developmental deal for WWE. So we had guys like, we had Victoria, Lisa Marie, Frankie Kazarian and Nova from ECW. We had John Cena when he was doing the prototype gimmick. Who else was there? Samoa Joe.
Yep.
A lot of big name guys came through there. That's why I first met the Road Warriors. It was crazy. But yeah, there was like a WWE developmental. Jim Ross used to come all the time, and Kurt Angle would come, and things like that, right? And yeah, I totally get why you say that. I totally get why you say Samoa Joe. Sure. Good guy. So with that being said, man, hey, thank you very much for joining us here on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. You're welcome. There's always a seat at the table for you. You can always come back. I will talk to that guy that knows that other guy that might get you some bookings. But yeah, holler at me in the DMs and we can discuss that. Talk to your boy Tough Tim and Brutal Bob, the Tough Guy Inc. Let them know that the franchise said what's cracking. And yeah, I'll see you when I see you, my man.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, thank you. Have a good night.
See you soon.